This is Alex out of Accessories International in Miami, Florida, and today we're showing you how to put the original Mercedes radio back into the radio slot after you put a DMP Android command screen installed with all the new harnesses. Now, we are a dealer in Miami, Florida. We sell the products, provide the support, do the installations, and you can purchase these products from our website at accessoryinternational.com. Now, let's get right to it and show you how this is done. Today we're addressing a frequently asked question on how to get the original Mercedes radio back into this radio slot once you have this new Android screen being installed. With the new screen, you're going to get a bunch of extra wiring, big harnesses, fuse boxes, a lot of stuff that was not there before, and a lot of people tend to struggle getting the original radio back in place. So we're here to show you exactly how to do it and give you some tips to try facilitating this process to make it as easy as possible. Now, the first thing you want to pay attention to is your original radio slot. Every car is going to be different in this sense. Most C classes have smaller radio slots. So you want to find the areas where you have some additional space to move those harnesses into. In our C class, we do have some additional storage off to the back right side here and tucked down below. So that's the first place we're going to be paying attention to. We want to have our cords being stuffed in those right corner slot and down as much as possible. Number two, we're going to be moving to make sure that our harnesses are all properly organized and connected. We don't want things knotting up to take up unnecessary space. Our goal here is to save as much space as possible. Number three, we're going to move into zip tying electrical connections together. Now, depending on your car model, this step may not be necessary, but for us, because it is such a tight fit, we're trying to save as much storage as we can, so we are zip tying things together. The fourth step is about accommodating the harnesses in the appropriate areas that you're going for. Now, as you push the radio in, the wires tend to get pulled out of place, out of the position that you wanted them in, so we can stick a screwdriver in here as the radio moves into position in order to kind of keep those harnesses in the places we want them as we push that radio in. We're able to do this with the screwdriver because the C classes have a slot above the radio where we can stick the screwdriver in from above, but depending on your model car, you may not have that, so you can skip this step if not possible. And lastly, and the most important step, is applying pressure to the front of the radio. You have to really push with force. We actually don't even show us fully pushing this radio in because we used the two of us, so 4 hands total, to push this radio face in with as much pressure as we could to really get it back into position. I highly recommend using 2 people for this step. Reason for that, one person will be pushing with pretty much as much force as they can, and the second person is then going to secure those 2 retaining screws and screw them downwards once you have the radio pushed all the way into position. You need to be smart with this. Obviously, you can't just crush everything in the back because you could potentially break something, but once you have it as best position as you can, you just have to be forceful with it, and you cannot be afraid to put muscle into it. That is the most important step at the very least in these C300 models. These are the tighter fits. Most other cars, you don't have to be so forceful with it, but in this one, you really have to apply a lot of pressure. I can't stress that enough. Just use some common sense not to break your harnesses in the back, but again, without pressure, you're just not going to be able to get this thing back into the appropriate slot. Once you've managed to fully get the screen back into place, just make sure those retaining screws are fully screwed down, and then you are good to go. You can complete the installation as normal. Guys, if you have any questions for us at Accessories International, we do the support, the installs. You know the deal. Give us a call, 786-242-5400. Remember that every model is different, so this may be slightly different depending on what kind of car you have, but for the most part, this is what you should do. My name is Alex, and thanks again for tuning in.